Arraignments in the Carbuncle Pond murder, and that includes the father of the baby the woman was pregnant with.
On the move, with the Cranston Street Armory about to close, we know where some of the people staying there may end up.
Months in the making, the ocean race leaders sail into Newport first for the big weekend coming up.
Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee plans a ban on gasoline-powered vehicles. Tonight, the why, the when, and who he has to win over.
NBC 10 News at 6 starts right now.
With the suspects in the Carbuncle Pond murder in Coventry charged in court, in a case that's even more shocking than when it first made news months ago. Hello again, everyone. I'm Gene Belicenti.
Good evening. I'm Patrice Wood. Today, prosecutors presented all the evidence in court. NBC 10's Joanna Boris was there. She's live outside court tonight. Joanna?
Patrice, Jean, one of the suspects was the father of the victim's unborn child. 35-year-old Gary Gromkowitz of Lincoln stood next to his friend, 46-year-old Michael Lambert of Pawtucket. The two are being charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder in the death of 34-year-old Layla Dwart DeLuz.
She was last seen by her landlord leaving her residence in Brockton on December 21st, 2022 at 2:30 in the morning with her ex-boyfriend, defendant Gary Gromkowitz.
2 days earlier, both men were seen buying a diamond wedding ring at Macy's.
A band which was consistent with the ring located on DeLuz's body on December 21st.
If DeLuz and Gromkowitz were happy after she got the ring, it didn't last. Days later, she and her unborn child were found dead.
Gromkowitz's mother disclosed to police that Gromkowitz broke up with DeLuz over what Gromkowitz described as a lie about DeLuz being pregnant.
Corrigan says detectives used cell phone data and security video to track where the suspects went the night of the victim's death.
At approximately 6:18 a.m., DeLuz's and Lambert's phone were in western Coventry in an area near the Connecticut state line. This is the same area where Carbuncle Pond is located and where DeLuz's body was recovered.
Security footage then shows Gromkowitz going into a house on Forest Avenue in Cumberland. I knocked on the door today. A neighbor tells me the girlfriend Gromkowitz had before DeLuz were constantly fighting. And both suspects have a criminal history. Gromkowitz was on probation for assault with a deadly weapon, and Lambert was on parole for a 1995 murder conviction. I'm live in Warwick. Joanna Boris, NBC 10 News.
Joanna, thank you. We've learned where some of the homeless staying at the Cranston Street Armory in Providence could be moved. They're going to Motel 6 in Warwick, and we're told it's happening this week. Warwick Mayor Frank Bicozzi shared the details on Facebook this afternoon. He says the state has arranged housing for 55 people at the Motel 6 that's on Jefferson Boulevard. That's in addition to the 40 that have been living there since last year. Mayor Bicozzi says that he's concerned that added police calls could lead to more overtime costs, and he says that would be expensive for the city. He says Governor Dan McKee was receptive to a possible reimbursement plan. As for the additional 55 rooms being made available, Mayor Bicozzi says preference will be given to those who have been at the Cranston Street Armory in Providence. The warming station at the Armory is set to close Monday.
Now at 6, a Rehoboth man is arrested in a sizable drug bust. State police grabbed 30-year-old Justin Croak of Davis Street on Tuesday following the search of a Providence storage unit that allegedly netted cocaine, fentanyl, cash, a stolen pistol, and AR-15 ghost gun parts. Croak remains held without bail on a long list of charges. A guilty verdict in the Providence murder after a 2-week trial. Kellon Page shot and killed Tariq Grundy in May of 2021. Police putting the case together with surveillance video from 18 different sources, plus DNA evidence. He'll be sentenced at a later date.
A Norton man will be sentenced tomorrow for killing his father. Gary Bergantine was convicted yesterday in Fall River Superior Court of murder. He stabbed 60-year-old Jorge Bergantine at his home in Taunton in 2021. He also stabbed his stepmother, who survived. She's expected to speak tomorrow during the sentencing hearing.
Neighbors saved 2 dogs from a house fire in West Warwick on Enfield Drive just before 11 o'clock last night. That's in the Natick section right by the Cranston line. 3 cats are missing. Exterior and attic damage. The family was moving out at the time. No word yet on the cause of that fire.
It's 6:04. Let's get a first check of the forecast. A live look outside right now, and this is Providence, where it is looking beautiful, Mark.
Sure is. What a day, huh? Temperatures up around 70. Patrice and Jean this afternoon after a chilly start where some of you got down below freezing. I'll show you some of those communities when I'm back with you in a bit. As we look in the opposite direction from the tower cam shot you were looking at, of course, down the river into Narragansett Bay, looking more off to the northwest, you can get a better perspective here from Talkwat and the waterfront of that wildfire haze and smoke that's still out there with us tonight. Again, it's around 10,000 feet up in the atmosphere. It doesn't have any effect. It's not making it to the ground, so hopefully not having any effect on you in respiratory distress. It's more of just an element there that'll stay up in the atmosphere that'll affect our sunrise and sunsets and give us more color tonight, again, with a sunset at about 8 minutes of 8 o'clock. Clear sky aside from that wildfire smoke. I don't expect any concern for the majority of tomorrow, although a little weak impulse just underneath our banner there is going to dip down and trigger off a few widely scattered showers later tomorrow afternoon. Overnight into tomorrow morning, not down in the 30s like we were this morning for many of us. It looks like 40s to near 50 degrees to start Thursday off, a light west wind, and that'll be more of a west-southwest wind during the afternoon. Temperatures tomorrow between 75 and 80 for the majority of inland communities, closer to 70 at the beaches, maybe staying in the upper 60s for the Cape and the Islands. Block Island only about 62 for you. This is 7:30 tomorrow night. Looks like between about 5 and 8 o'clock, there could be a few very fast-moving, widely scattered showers dropping down from our northwest. The majority of us will miss these, but it is something that's going to play out again, not only tomorrow, but play out again for Friday evening, and then Saturday late afternoon and evening, there could be a few more showers as well as the air turns just a little cooler from Saturday into Mother's Day. Patrice and Jean. So I'll break this all down for you and have the latest on Mother's Day in the forecast in a few minutes.
Very good. Thank you, Mark. You were lucky if you were in Newport today. A stellar day in the city by the sea for the much anticipated arrival of the sailboats in the ocean race, where Charlie Enright has bragging rights tonight.
That's right. He got in first and has home bay advantage over some of the best races in the world. The Sports Team 10's Joe Kayada tells us live tonight. Joe?
Jean and Patricia could have beaten today's weather. Picture perfect down here in Newport. 65 degrees, sunny, wind out of the southwest as the boats arrive with thousands of fans lining up on the shoreline here at Fort Adams, preparing for the big arrival in NBC 10. We were actually out in all of the action, out on a chase boat this afternoon, welcoming in local boat 11th Hour Racing as they finished in first place for the fourth leg of this worldwide ocean race. The boat is skippered by Bristol's Charlie Enright after being at sea for 17 days from Brazil to Newport. Enright told me as soon as he got off the boat, he's excited and extremely proud to be back in the ocean state and bring the ocean race to his hometown.
I'm proud, Rhode Island's an amazing place. This stops, this race stops in a lot of big cities, and to have Newport, Rhode Island mentioned in the same breath as a lot of those is cool. And, to be able to show it off, look at this natural, beautiful body of water. It's amazing.
So 2 boats are in. The third should be in around 6 a.m. this morning, and they will stay here for the next 10 days before departing for leg 5 to Denmark on the 21st. But they're going to have a party here at Race Village for the next 10 days. You got to come down here for a big party on the water and on land. You don't want to miss it. We'll have much more on that coming up a little bit later on in sports. Reporting live from Newport for the Ocean Race, I'm Joe Kayada, Sports Team 10.
Joe, thanks. Close to 3 dozen Pawtucket cops are wearing body cameras for the first time this week. They started Monday following an $875,000 state grant last year that started buying them for everyone by the end of the summer.
It's good for the climate and good for the environment and good for the people's health that are here, right? And also the sustainability. We're doing our part in the sustainability of the the world.
Mr. Electric has his charge. It's a lofty goal, to say the least. The governor plans to ban the sale of gasoline-powered vehicles in just 12 years' time.
This is in line with climate goals on the federal level. Some other states are already signed on to the program. Cal Domowski breaks it all down.
A new policy announced today will require all cars imported for sale in Rhode Island by 2035 to be non-gas powered. Rhode Island joins 7 other states, including Massachusetts and New York, in adopting this policy.
Maybe in 10, 15 years, when there's a majority of electric cars out there, I'd probably maybe think about it, but I think it'd be just too expensive for me.
The plans follow the Act on Climate mandate, which requires the state to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Companies like Ford, Volvo, Volkswagen, and others have already announced plans to reach certain production goals of zero-emission vehicles. McKee says by adopting these policies, it'll help car manufacturers prioritize dealerships in the state, making it easier for customers like you to access these kinds of vehicles.
The auto industry, this is where the auto industry is going.
By really regulating those manufacturers, it ensures that the electric vehicles that they are producing are delivered to Rhode Island.
But not everyone is on board.
I don't mind having electric vehicles, but that can't be the only thing, because if the power grid gets shut down, I mean, we got to think ahead here.
McKee says his team is now working on plans and budgeting for the infrastructure that's going to be needed to charge these vehicles.
It's good for the climate, and good for the environment, and good for the people's health that are here, right? And also the sustainability. We're doing our part in the sustainability of the the world.
This is a huge and monumental step, but by no means do we think that this is the end and we've now solved it. We know that we have to keep working.
DEM will have a public session next week. Reporting, Cal Domowski, NBC 10 News.
House Minority Leader Michael Chippendale released a critique of the governor's proposals, from the price of electric vehicles to their latest sales numbers and concerns about road safety. Chippendale summed it up, quote, "Today's announcement by the governor to embrace these unrealistic consumer vehicle regulations demonstrates a concerning disconnect between the governor and the people he governs," end quote. We've been running a poll on Twitter all day to see what you think of the governor's proposals. At last check, more than 900 votes, and the vast majority of you are not on board. Just about 18% say that they would support the ban on the sale of gas-powered vehicles in Rhode Island. 82% say they would not.
Chang Farm in Massachusetts expands the recall of sprouts we first told you about on Monday for possible listeria contamination, in addition to bulk bags and retail bags of mung bean sprouts. The recall now includes 12-ounce bags of soybean sprouts sold under the Nature's Wonder brand. They were sold throughout New England. No illnesses have been reported. There's more information on this on turnto10.com tonight. All right, next at 6 o'clock, where is it already? We're back in Attleboro on the hunt for that missing time capsule.
And the Patriots have been picked to play in Germany during the upcoming NFL season. When and who they're playing later in sports.
Finally found after days of digging, crews have located a long-lost time capsule buried 26 years ago at an Attleboro school.
Nobody could remember where it was. Now the mystery has been solved. NBC 10's Molly Levine was there as crews hit pay dirt.
And these two ladies who have been the ringleaders behind it all have finally found what they've been looking for. Very excited as they opened it. Brennan Middle School 5th grade ELA and social studies teacher Dawn Greening celebrating after a 2-day search for the capsule that was buried 26 years ago. The bin finally found by a geosearch company out of Sterling, Massachusetts, using this car on 3 wheels that sends radars down and forming a reaction, notifying the searchers of something underground. Greening very emotional after the discovery.
My heart's beating fast. I can't believe that they found it. It's been a search, and I feel like we are doing the students of Attleboro right by finding this for them. This is everybody's time capsule, and that's what time capsules are for, to dig up.
Clothing, yearbooks, binders filled with notes, floppy disks, and a cassette tape all found inside. June 10th, 10 a.m., they're going to have a ceremony right here behind Brennan Middle School to share everything that was inside. In Attleboro, Molly Levine, NBC 10 News.
Well, the ancient cassette tape. It was a star-studded career day presentation at Birchwood Middle School in North Providence this morning. More than 30 professionals took time out to talk to kids about their professions, among them Governor McKee, Mayor Lombardi, and our own NBC 10 Sunrise meteorologist Christina Ernie. Speakers used demonstration and hands-on activities to give the middle schoolers a taste of what they do day to day. Christina.
I bet yours is the best.
Yeah, this is the day that you want to be a meteorologist. Yeah. Gorgeous May Day. Everybody loves you, right, Mark?
Absolutely. Everybody loves Christina anyway.
Oh, that's true. And
however,
you.
especially today, they were probably glued to her presentation. I'm sure that was awesome. Yeah, great day today, guys. Absolutely, with the blue sky, the azalea garden in Wakefield. Michelle chiming in. If you don't suffer from allergies, that's your spot. But boy, look at the colors there and how the flowers have come out. Just a beautiful spot to be. And it was an awesome day, as we've been telling you. The 11th hour racing team, local skipper Charlie Enright arriving in Newport. He was with Joe earlier in the 4 o'clock newscast with a live interview, and he said, couldn't have better weather for it. Bob Arnold chiming in with that spectacular picture. Here are the low temperatures this morning. You were cold in West Greenwich, Ashaway, Green. Mike Brannigan let me know it was 31 there. It was 31 as well for West Greenwich and Ashaway, and Hope Valley at 32 degrees this morning. Cumberland 34. And here in southeastern Mass, where there was a frost advisory, there wasn't a frost advisory in Rhode Island. We had those colder temperatures, but Taunton, New Bedford, you get frost certainly with temperatures of 36 or below, again, because of the cold air sinking down toward the grass level. That temperature taken at 6 feet. And of course, the density of the cold air makes it possible that we get frost even when the temperature says 35 or 36. Providence 70, the high after a morning low of 41. So we beat the afternoon average high, but we were well below the average low temperature this time of year, 34 the record. So we weren't far from that, and 92 from 1979, a record high. Looks great for us everywhere in southern New England. That's the view from New Bedford, the law offices of Duso and Zader looking out through the hurricane barrier, and we've got miles and miles of visibility tonight. It's our People's Credit Union Skycam. We're down to 61 after that 67-degree high in New Bedford, and a southwest wind tonight of 15 miles an hour. Aside from some of that wildfire smoke in the atmosphere, there's really not much weather happening across the entire Northeast. Big area of high pressure from Cleveland through Washington, D.C. just dominates the forecast. Now, the smoke plume continues to get carried out of Alberta, gets deposited down here across the Northeast. There's actually two areas of main concentration. Eastern portions of Ohio and western Pennsylvania seeing some of the most dense smoke in the atmosphere. And then, of course, for us here in southern New England, we can see it as well. This is the forecast for tomorrow. Still an element of smoky haze in our atmosphere. It may tend to thin just a little bit from northwest to southeast as we work through Friday into Saturday. So there's signs that there won't be as much smoke in our sky as we get toward the weekend. But certainly the farther south you look or the farther south you go, the higher chances are that you're going to run into just a little bit of smoke still in the atmosphere for this weekend. Tomorrow will start out mostly sunny. Get some heavier afternoon clouds. As I mentioned earlier in the newscast, between 4 and maybe 7 or 8 o'clock at night, there could be a few widely scattered showers passing through. From a little weak impulse, you'll see it pop up right there. This is 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. So a few of those showers may just hold together as they drift through southern New England. And we very well could see this play out again on Friday. Friday morning, 7 a.m., another little weak impulse may just graze us with a few scattered afternoon rain showers. Not much heavy rain until we get towards Saturday. There's a cold front that's going to press through here Saturday afternoon and drop the temperatures from the upper 70s Saturday to closer to 70 on Mother's Day. So we may have to dodge a few spotty showers then. Each of the next couple of days, only about a 20 to 30% chance of a scattered shower. So we're in good shape there. Warm certainly near 80 these next couple of days and still around 70 even into early next week. That's the latest look at your forecast.
Now to the Chevrolet Sports Report with Frank Carpano, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers.
In the NBA playoffs, Boston now finds themselves on the brink of elimination. The Sixers with an unprecedented win last night over the Celtics. First time the Sixers have won a playoff Game 5 on the road. After uninspiring play produced their latest loss, Jaylen Brown asks what it's going to take to win Game 6.
We just got to be ready to go. The past is the past. We could talk about, a lot of stuff that's happened in this series that could have went the other way and it didn't. Right now, we got in front of us a great opportunity, and to mull on the past would take that opportunity away from us. We just got to be ready to play basketball. That's it. Come out and play Celtic basketball.
All right, we'll see. Game 6 tomorrow night in Philadelphia begins at 7:30. Red Sox look to snap a 2-game losing streak in Atlanta tonight. Brian Bayo on the mound for Boston. And for the first time this season, Justin Turner taking the field to play third base in place of Rafael Devers, who has the night off. The Patriots are headed to Europe this fall. News today that the Pats are going to play the Indianapolis Colts in Germany this November. That Week 10 game will count as a home game for the Pats. Fourth time that New England has played a game overseas. Kickoff set for 9:30 on the morning of November 12th. And tomorrow night, the NFL will release the remainder of the league schedule for the upcoming season. Finally, Newport today welcomes some of the fleet of the Ocean Race. Fittingly, the only boats in the fleet that calls Newport home was the first to arrive. Sports Team 10's Joe Kayada joins us live from Newport's Fort Adams with more. Joe?
Frank, talk about a picture-perfect afternoon for the arrival of the Ocean Race here in Newport, Rhode Island, as thousands of fans flocked to the city by the sea, lining up here at Fort Adams just to see the boats come in. NBC 10, we were out in the action this afternoon, out on a chase boat, chasing all the action as they came in. Welcome, a local boat, 11th Hour Racing, as they finished in first place for the fourth leg of this worldwide ocean race. The boat is skippered by Bristol's Charlie Enright. after being at sea for 17 days from Brazil to Newport, which is 5,500 nautical miles. Enright tells me he's thrilled with the first place finish for this leg, which now puts them in third place overall.
But it's just amazing. Like, I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be more proud of the team, thankful of the sponsor. And yeah, it's just a good day for 11th Hour Racing.
But this is a great international event. The men and women that prepare for this are just so good, and it brings money into the state's coffers, which is what interests me a lot.
Today is the start of an amazing week and a half, but this arrivals was tremendous. Perfect New England weather. We couldn't ask for a nicer day. Good southwesterly breezes. Art Lake would be proud.
I'm sure he is looking down, smiling. 2 boats are in. The next will be coming in around 6 a.m. They'll stay here for 10 days before departing for leg 5 to Denmark on May 21st. But we have 11 days of partying and celebrating sailing here in the city by the sea. It's free and open to the public. It will kick off on Saturday afternoon. Reporting live from Newport, I'm Joe Kayada, Sports Team Ted. Frank?
All right, thank you very much, Joe. Going to be a lot of fun down there. Hopefully the weather's going to be perfect and everybody will get down to see what these boats are all about.
Yeah. Nice reference to Art Lake, too.
Yeah.
I like that.
Free admission.
It is free, yep.
Rare in Newport.
All right, coming up new at 7, Price Point. Finally, a little good news at the grocery store. What supposedly will cost you less. Plus, no wedding worries. With the closing of Bed Bath & Beyond, there's a new place for brides to register. That's coming up at 7.
Tomorrow morning on my radio show on WPRO, this is CNN hosting Donald Trump for a live town hall tonight. Title 42 rules go away tomorrow night on the border, where even the president concedes chaos is coming. Ask the DOT at 8 and call into tomorrow's radiothon to help us raise money for kids in the hospital. It's tomorrow, big day on the radio with me. News Talk 99.7 FM, AM 630, 6 to 9, weekday mornings on WPRO. Up next on Nightly News, she wrote about grief after her husband's death. Now she's charged with killing him. New documents in that case. Then, the big step to make birth control pills available over the counter. And 2 tech giants are battling it out over artificial intelligence. How Google has jumped ahead. Next with Lester Holt.
We have a great night of TV here on 10. Tonight in prime time and all news, Chicago Night on NBC 10. New episodes of Chicago Med at 8, Chicago Fire at 9, and Chicago PD at 10. And then we'll be back here in Southern New England with all the late-breaking news on the NBC 10 News Night Team at 11. Nice night tonight, Mario.
It is, certainly. It's 80 in Chicago today. Some of that air is coming our way the next couple of days. So we're up around 80 degrees Thursday, Friday. Even Saturday's highs will be in the upper 70s. There could be a few widely scattered, fast-moving showers tomorrow evening, the same on Friday evening, and then Saturday afternoon, a brief shower. Should set us up with some nice weather for Mother's Day. Looks like sunshine and 70 degrees.
Perfect. All right, that's for the 6 o'clock news. Thank you for watching. All of us on the night team will be back at 11.
NBC Nightly News is next. Have a good night till we see you again.